What's up, everybody? We got a special treat for you guys today. We're gonna go check out some of our buddies' collection, and guess what he has?
Axanthic Crested Geckos.
Axanthic Crested Geckos, unrelated to most lines out there, and one of the craziest gargoyles we have ever seen.
His name is Lizard Wizard. Make sure you check him out on Instagram and Facebook. They got a lot of killer stuff.
Alright guys, so we're here in Matt's reptile room, and this is my buddy here, Matt Karwacki, the owner of the Axanthic Crested Geckos and that crazy Gargoyle Gecko we're about to show you. So Matt, how did all this come about? How did you get from one gecko, because everybody starts off with one, to a room full of reptiles?
Okay, so long story short, I've had reptiles since I was 4 years old. It started with an eastern painted turtle that was given to me by a babysitter, and then it just kind of went downhill from there.
Yeah, it's always reptile people can't just have one. We go ape shit and we buy everything we can ever get.
It's absolutely an addiction, and if there were a support group, I would remain in denial and I would not go to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're right there with you, man. Like,
I'll keep drinking that gecko Kool-Aid.
it's like you say so many times. It's like Pokemon, man. Like, you just gotta catch them all. You gotta have one of everything. Like, I have a light one, I have a dark one. Wait, there's a red one? I gotta get a red one. Oh, red and white? I gotta get that too.
The good thing is that we could call ourselves breeders, and we could have an excuse to actually have all these animals.
But we're really addicts.
Yeah.
Don't let us fool you.
But we're dedicated addicts.
Exactly. So obviously one of the biggest reasons we came out here is for the Axanthic Crested Geckos. We all know that, some other breeders have them, but Matt actually doesn't have any of their stuff, and he popped out an Axanthic just on his own, and he now has 3, and that's probably one of the most exciting projects in Crested Geckos right now. So tell us, when you saw that first Axanthic, how did you feel? Like, that must have been nuts, dude.
I'll be honest, I got a little choked up.
Yeah.
Because you go your whole life thinking, I know I can make something from nothing, and then one day it actually happens and you're like, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, dude.
It's like an emotional experience.
Yeah, no. I'm still waiting for my moment to pop out some crazy
right?
thing. Because we can pop out all pretty geckos and stuff, but I want like something like an Axanthic or the first albino.
Albino.
The albino.
That's what we're trying to do. Albino now.
We gotta get the albino there.
I will say, having looked at your personal collection over there at the facility, you've got some weird things going on, and I think they're worth exploring.
Yeah.
Because that's how the Axanthics came about. We didn't start with like nice geckos. We started with like ugly geckos with no structure, and we kept buying what we could and keeping the very best and selling the rest, flipping them wholesale, whatever, and trying to develop a line. We had a couple nice geckos come through, but we just kept bringing in more geckos and trying to see what worked. How did pinstripes go between different colors? What about Dalmatian spotting, Harlequins, things like that? And what really got me going was, if you look at your geckos through the same lens that ball python breeders look at their snakes, you really start to see some different nuances. It sounds crazy if you go with what everybody else talks about in the hobby, where there's no true genetics other than like lily white and Axanthic. But if you really look into some of the weird stuff that you have going on in your colony, I really believe you guys have a couple different things that I don't have and that other people don't have. So they're certainly worth exploring.
Alright, and let's see the parents first of all. So let's see what produced all these Axanthic Crested Geckos. Because we know for sure the dad right now, right? But we are not sure about the mom, right?
Right.
Okay.
So this is the
Yeah,
founder.
one of the reasons why we might not know what the mom, which happens when you're breeding, is you can throw, like, that male is with multiple females, and they tend to lay, it's funny, sometimes they lay in the same exact day. So you have like 2 or 3 clutches of eggs, and you're like, there's no way you can know the exact female it comes from, but we know the male, and then you can separate the females so you can kind of isolate and see where the Axanthics or whatever morph is coming from.
Exactly. So right there is that's the male we have that we know for sure is a het Axanthic. And basically the Axanthic gene is a recessive mutation. Recessive means that, like, for example, this animal right here doesn't look Axanthic, but it carries the trait, it carries the gene. So if you put two het Axanthics together, they will produce visual Axanthics, and that's when you get a visual Axanthic would be the actual Axanthic that looks really dark gray or black sometimes or light gray. Those are the Axanthics. But if you breed that gecko to a normal gecko, all the geckos are gonna look normal, but all the geckos are gonna carry the Axanthic gene.
And what Axanthic is it's a mutation that takes away red or yellow or both pigments. So that's why the crested geckos, they Axanthics in them turn out like gray to like a black, which is different from the charcoals or just the dark crested geckos.
Yeah, and the cool thing about that is, like, if you breed an Axanthic to like a yellow or something, down the line you're gonna see that the cream, even in your whitest geckos that are just polygenic, even in the lily whites, they have yellow pigment in there. But when you wipe that out, when you wipe the yellow pigment out, you get pure white, like paper white. And that's what we're trying to produce, you know. We're trying to, hopefully, we could get some like Axanthic lily whites that are just absolutely pure white with the black background. That's gonna be nuts.
Yeah, so what do you want to do with the Axanthic project? Because like David mentioned, you know, that'd be a cool thing to throw to lily whites, maybe make a all white or a pure white with on the side animal with the dark contrast. But what do you want to do? Where do you want to go with this project?
To start with, we really just want to hone in on it and improve what's already there before we start crossing out into other lineages. You know, so you know, we want to develop the crest a little more. The phantom pinstriping is a little choppy. It could be more uniform. The white, the pure white that's actually on there, could be a little more uniform. Some of them have started to develop little white spots, almost like, I guess, what you could call a reverse Dalmatian. We want to explore that. I don't know if that's what it'll turn into. It may
that could be cool, man.
It may just be
really
white
cool
portholes. I mean, at this point, there's so much we can really do to it. So we're gonna throw it to phantoms. We're gonna throw it to regular pinstripes. We're gonna throw it to Dalmatians, super Dalmatians, Harlequins. We're gonna throw it to everything, really.
Yeah,
See
because
what we can come up with, including our lily whites.
That male that is the father to the Axanthics is actually pretty good. He has a pretty amount of Dalmatian spots. He has a lot, actually.
Well,
so
people ask me, how did I go about choosing my breeders for my weird projects? This is what I mean by weirdos. The line that this animal comes from, they don't have Dalmatian spotting and they don't really have pinning. They're normally just a dash pinning with a Harlequin pattern. None of them come out looking like this, and they certainly don't have a nice structured crest with long tubercles on there. So this one to me was, I considered a weirdo out of the line that was producing it. So I kept that back. The other weirdos I kept, some of them looked okay and some of them looked pretty normal, but they produced animals that looked really great. So I considered them weirdos. You know, since nobody really wants to say het in crested geckos, so I just call them all weirdos. There's something there. When something just randomly gets displayed, I feel like there's something triggered it. What triggered it? Can we recreate it? Is there something else there?
That's some of the cool things with working with like new genes or new traits is you could throw it to so many different things, and which each different thing it can have a different reaction on the phenotype, how the animal ends up looking. So that's one of the, and like he was saying, you know, Matt focuses on certain weird things and putting those weird things together. You know, hopefully that produces something cool. That doesn't mean just throwing anything that looks weird together is gonna produce something like an Axanthic, you know. It's a trial and error. So you're gonna start throwing things together, see what happens, and that's part of the fun with breeding anything, you know, is just that experimentation and the all those like variables that could take place and create just a funky animal.
Alright, so I love the Axanthics, but I'm a Gargoyle Gecko like nut. I wanted to see this Canadian bacon for so long, and I finally got my chance to meet her in person. This is one of the craziest gargoyle geckos I've ever seen in life.
Whip it out, Matt.
Whip it out, man. We were trying to fire her up.
For like
Turns
hours.
out, yeah, but she doesn't want to. She doesn't
She's
want
still an
to.
incredible gecko.
She's not about that life.
So tell me the story about Canadian bacon. How did you guys get her, and what do you think is going on with that pattern?
I can tell you a couple things that happened. So, there was a post on Facebook of this ridiculous little gargoyle gecko with circles on its side, and I think just like everybody else, my jaw hit the ground, and they kept scrolling because they're like, no one's gonna sell that, or if they're gonna sell it, it's gonna be extremely expensive. Well, about a week goes by, a friend of mine sends me a picture of this and goes, have you seen this? Yeah. Well, why didn't you send it to me? I didn't think they were going to sell it. Anyways, my friend ended up contacting the guy, got him to sell it. In Canada, he had to have one of his friends in Canada go pick up the gecko and then ship it to us from Canada. It was just... There's a lot of other details in there that we shouldn't get into.
So that's why
It's legal.
That's
it's totally
why
legal.
yeah, it's totally legal. But that's why the name is Canadian bacon, because it was really red as a baby, like bacon, and it came from Canada. But American bacon is so much better than Canadian bacon. I just gotta say that. And Venezuelan bacon's even better.
Yeah, keep it in your pants. So, okay. We don't know what's going on with the pattern here. We're really hoping that this is genetic. It could possibly be one of the first gargoyle gecko true morphs outside of all the things we've been breeding polygenically in our colonies, you know, red stripes, yellows, things like that.
Yeah. What I love about this circles too, by the way, it looks like a little heart, but like the red is wrapping around it right there.
Yeah, there's no red inside the circles.
Yeah.
So if you look at not only the circle,
I love how it's screaming.
if you look at the markings on the face,
Yeah.
it almost looks clownish.
Yeah.
So if it's a real thing, we're gonna call these clown gargoyles.
Yo, check this crested gecko out. Guaranteed you've never seen a crested gecko this big.
Next to it, that is a Leachianus, a giant gecko.
That is a massive crested gecko, dude.
Oh shit.
And they want to breed.
I mean, they could breed.
It's 2019. We don't judge. Sick, dude. That's the biggest crested gecko I've ever seen in my life.
You know, we showed off the gargoyle geckos, the crested geckos. I'm a big fan of the Chahoua geckos. And Matt over here has some crazy Pine Island and mainland Chahuas. These right here that we're holding, that I'm holding now.
They love you too, dude.
Yeah, man, they love me right back, see? These are beautiful Pineland Chahuas, man. Absolutely gorgeous. Some have like cream. This guy is red. This guy's my favorite. He's gonna go in my pocket on the way home.
Yeah.
But just absolutely top class Chahoua, man.
Top class?
Top class. Upper echelon.
Is that like grade A?
New level.
These are B grades.
Alright, so we were out fishing. We came back, and one of the eggs hatched. So it's a possible het Axanthic. So we're gonna rub the other one out, see if it hatches, and maybe an Axanthic comes out, and we catch it on camera.
And it's as seen on YouTube.
And if an Axanthic doesn't come out, then you'll never see this clip. So
No, you still have to show it. Cause
Alright,
it's like B-roll footage. Like
Come on,
it's like
take a row,
bloopers.
take a
yeah.
row.
All right,
Take a
let's do it. Let's see it.
Flip that
Yeah.
thing so you make sure it's focused and everything.
True.
You just killed it.
I've tried so many times to do this, and I've never been able to do it. It's always the tail, and I was like, yes, it's an Axanthic.
Go.
It's a head.
Possible head.
Possible head. Yeah.
Yep, that battery low.
Yeah.
It pops out right as the dead
Nice.
screen comes on.
I'll feel it before. Oh, dude, it pops it. Well,
No.
no, it's not.
Nope, it's
That's
a
still
pop
cool
head.
though.
Yeah.
Yo, that's a big one.
You guys just watched a crested gecko come to life.
Alright guys, that's gonna wrap up this video. We hope you enjoyed, and
You might have noticed something different about this video.
we've got brand new t-shirts, the Lily White Crested Gecko limited edition t-shirts. We're gonna be giving these away to everybody that gets a Lily White, obviously, and our Patreon supporters are gonna be able to buy these for a discounted price. So if you haven't checked out our Patreon, we're trying to get that off the ground, so go check it out. The link's in the description.
If you guys like our videos, you know, you like what we post, make sure you hit the subscribe and the like button down below, and make sure you follow us on all of our other social medias: Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter. We're always posting cool content and different content on each platform, so make sure you check them out and follow us.
Thanks for watching, and check how beautiful this day is. That's Florida for you.
Great day to make an awesome video.
See you guys next week.